He has been a leader in all aspects of middle school life, as evidenced by his service on the Student Council and on our Honor Council. He is a frequent admissions ambassador and panelist. More importantly, he is a person of character and demonstrates an ethic of excellence in all he undertakes. It is my pleasure to call forward the 8th grade selection as their Awards Day speaker, George Lewis Baker IV, or as we just know him, Lou.
Wow, 8th grade graduation. It feels like just yesterday we were in the same gym for our 4th grade graduation. It certainly has been a quick few years for this class, but it has also been some of the best years of our lives. I have loved spending time with you guys, and I hope we can make the next 4 years in the upper school as great as these years have been. Let's take a brief look back and remember our years in the middle school. It all started in 5th grade in Orderman Hall. We had a building all to ourselves, and we felt like we were on top of the world. We each had our own locker, and even though it was barely big enough to fit our backpacks, we knew we were the coolest kids at school. There are many memories from the 5th grade, ranging from Everett dunking on and breaking Miss Jones' basketball hoop for the 8th time, then having to take the walk of shame to the bookstore to buy another one, to Miss Belton's tree test that everyone dreaded studying for. But the highlight of our 5th grade year was the trip to Williamsburg. Just when we thought we already had all the independence we could ever get, we figured out that we got to stay in a hotel room with a friend and no teacher. Connor Hammond used this to his advantage by stashing 2 buckets of cheese balls and a couple liters of Coke in his suitcase. I'm pretty sure he got no sleep that night. What a great year. Then came 6th grade, our rookie year in Chapin Hall. We were the smallest ones there, except of course Troy and Doug, and we were just trying to stay out of people's way. During 6th grade, we as a class got to become very close with our teachers. Whether it was arranging a putt-putt tournament in Mr. Collins' room, listening to Mr. Byers' Simpsons impressions, or begging Miss Windsor for a Jolly Ranchers, we created relationships with them that still last today. A big project at the end of the 6th grade year was the health fair. We presented them to judges around the school, and at the end of the year, awards were handed out to the top finishers. Leo Kelly ended up beating me out by 0.2 of a point. We haven't talked since. It was a good way to end the 6th grade year and get ready for the next step up in 7th grade. By our 7th grade year, we felt as if we were seasoned veterans. We knew how things worked. There were no surprises, or so we thought. This fantasy came to an end for some of us when we met Mr. Culbertson. You could not talk about his hair, his boots, or how running isn't a real sport without getting pushed into a desk or being put in an arm lock against a wall. Despite all of this, he ended up being a pretty good math teacher. A great memory from 7th grade was our trip to Philadelphia. We got to tour a woodworking museum and multiple churches around Philly. We were even given books about woodworking that we got to take home, except for Costa, who accidentally dropped his in the trash can. Then came 8th grade, our last year of middle school. We were the big man on campus, and we were excited about it. Since 5th grade, you always heard 2 things about the 8th grade: the camping trip and the speeches. For the camping trip, after we had been in a bus for 5 hours and we had organized our gear, we hiked to our camping spot and the trip was underway. We were told that we would wake up at around 7, but we didn't know how they would wake us up. We found this out very quickly. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? That's right, our homeroom was awakened by the theme song of Mr. Rogers by our counselor, Craig. Throughout the week, we did many different things like caving, cooking our own meals, and navigating our way up a which for most of us were brand new activities. By the end of the trip, a lot of us were ready to sleep in our own bed, but we all had a really good time. The other hallmark of the 8th grade year, and perhaps the most nerve-wracking, is the 8th grade speeches. Some of the highlights of this year's speakers were Nick Lozano, talking about how his parents sometimes forget him because he is the third child. Blake Dudley, talking about how to give a speech. And, of course, Kostas Stavrakis, talking and singing about himself. This has been a great year for us, and we will have memories from it for the rest of our lives. Before I close, I would like to thank many people. First and foremost, I would like to thank all the teachers, coaches, and staff for all you have done for us. You have truly turned us into St. Paul's gentlemen. Furthermore, I would like to thank Mr. Woods and Mr. Faust for making St. Paul such a great place. We love it here, and it is in large part due to your dedication to St. Paul's and to us. I would also like to thank all of our parents for everything you do. Without your love, your support, and your guidance, we would not be the young men we are today. Lastly, I would like to thank my classmates. You guys are extremely hard workers academically, charitably, and athletically. You always strive for greatness, and you are definitely part of something bigger than yourselves. We can continue as an outstanding class in the upper school, but it is up to us to make it happen. I can't wait to do so with you guys. Thank you for this opportunity to speak today.